I am on the stick for the right hand, doing round and the board. So it's limited in what I can do with thrusters, but stick helps a little, a bit more and all.
Did you uncomfortable at all? Getting used to this different way of racing, I guess, because on the ground it's just lateral
Yeah.
overtakes, right? But this one had all the 6 dimensions possible to you.
Yeah.
Ship racer, as a heavy ship racer, racing
Yeah.
Starlifters, the Mole, the stuff you've raced before for more endurance style competitions. What are you finding transfers over really well from that skill set into this, and what doesn't?
I guess remembering to just be safe, I guess, because even with a lot of racing, you can with those big ships, like they might take a bit of a knock from a small ship, but you hit another big ship and it's over. And you, the spaces you're flying into, you might not have a lot of room. So I guess just being safe, I guess that's the main thing I've learned flying the big ships. Plus, you get a lot more time to take everything in when you're flying the big ships, and actually figure out what you're doing, rather than just jumping in the deep end with these really fast ships where you need to be thinking a lot quicker.
Got it. Herbie, I mean, I want to get into some of the, some of the races that you had, but before I do that, were there any nerves across the entire season of Gravity Rush until obviously, you got knocked out in Rush 2, Race 8 of the semifinals?
Oh yeah, definitely. The 0G tracks, they 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 and me hands can be very shaky doing them races. Get the nerves going a lot because I just don't feel too comfortable with them. Whereas the ATMO races, especially say like Snake Pit or something, where I just know I can, hold a steady pace and do my thing. But yeah, those 0G ones, they get me going.
And 0G gets him going. So now let's jump into a specific race question, right? Your semifinals, race 8, that's where, you unfortunately got knocked out there. Did you think that you were gonna get this far into Gravity Rush as a first time racer? And are you gonna be back next year for sure?
Well, I didn't think I was going to get that far, but then when I started to get in, realized that I was actually in the semis. I thought, okay, I might have a chance here, but I was a little disappointed with myself that I didn't do as well as I had practiced with, because in army practice, the turbulence wasn't really much of an issue. So, but the other races kind of threw me off a bit, I think. So, and just delayed my reactions on that. So, yeah, I'll probably give it another try next year. See how it goes. Roll the dice. Maybe I've gotten a little bit more practice since then. So we'll see how it goes.
That's good, man. Tin, any other last questions you want to throw at Herbie?
Yes, actually. So with the sort of your style has very traditionally been sort of a more conservative, take the safe lines approach.
Yeah.
We've seen you throughout this entire series kind of translate that through into these various tracks. How much are you thinking about that in terms of your practice line selections?
It's like I'll watch the time trial runs of other races, and a lot of the stuff they're doing, I can't exactly push it to them limits, especially using the keyboard. There's only so much you can do. You've only got so much control. So you just kind of gotta find the speed that works while using as much as their lines as you can to try and get the best out of it. So it takes a bit of practice, but you get there. So I'm still nowhere near where I should be, but I just didn't have the time as
I mean, that's
a
a
lot of the
racer's
other
attitude
races.
if I've
Yeah,
ever heard it, because nowhere near where I should be in the top like 15, 20 of all StarCitizen racing pilots, period. Like, come on, man, give yourself some credit.
no, I do okay in the slower ships, I guess, just because I don't think the faster racers know how to just tweak it a little bit first, because it's a different style when you're flying the heavier ones. So, but the smart ones, these guys are just killing it, especially Liquid. I don't think I'd have a chance if I was in the final at the moment.
Hey man, don't ever count yourself out. Jacqueline, any last questions here for Herbie?
To be honest, I mean, Tint kind of took my question, but if I'm gonna add one question here, the one I gotta add here is like Herbie, like in the community, you're kind of known to be the one that finds all the little min maxy things you can do, especially with the ground vehicles. You know, I don't think anyone in the whole
Yeah,
community knows how the wheels work like you do. Like when it comes to ground racing, like you're just like way ahead of everyone.
yeah, it's
When you come to practice the ships. Especially something like Kaplan, right? You said you were
yeah,
practicing handling the turbulence.
yeah.
How do you find those little things just to get that advantage?
Just grind it out, basically. Keep trying different things, see what works. But with the turbulence, it was just so random. It's just even when you think you're onto something, you just might be the turbulence being random, and you're not. But it's just trial and error. You just keep at it, and you just got to grind it. Basically, that's like if I'm playing Star Citizen, that's all I'm doing racing, other than these like little cargo events that they've put out at the moment, because I want those skins. Well, other than that, I'm just racing all the time. So you just got to keep at it, and yeah, that's how you get good.
Get good, man.
Very
You sound like we're playing Dark Souls or Elden Ring over here. but well, Herbie, it's
You'll
always
have
a
to
pleasure
ask
to have you,
Splen that
man.
he's just been playing it.
Oh,
Cheers, man.
okay. This Flan. But Herbie, you've been an incredible asset to the racing community overall. For you race everywhere, you take things. You love new challenges, which we truly appreciate. So, is there anything you want to say out to the community currently watching, or anybody that may watch this VOD later on about just competing in Star Citizen in general, or anything you want to say? To be honest.
Well, cheers for you lads to always putting these on. They're always a blast. And anyone that's watching that thinks, oh, maybe I could do okay, or maybe you won't even do okay the first time, and that's fine. But just give it a go, because it's so much fun. I mean, it'll turn the game into, that's basically all you're doing. It'll be a racing game at that point. But best thing you'll ever do.
Yeah. It gets addicting, huh? It gets addicting. Well,
Yeah.
Herbie, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for, coming on this season and absolutely doing this, like all the way to the semifinals. And I
Cheers,
feel
man.
like a little bit more practice, man. You'll definitely get to the finals for next time, man. So
Yeah.
we all believe in you.
Yeah, maybe I'll get the that extra left stick one day, and we'll see what we can do.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
cheers, bud. We'll see you next year at this again.
All right, Herbie. Take care, man. Appreciate you. And yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Good to see you,
Later,
Herbie.
guys.
All right, that was Herbie, ladies and gentlemen. That was absolutely fantastic. So while we get Splend set up here, let's talk a little bit about Herbie's answers. It's Herbie's I think just special overall. He races, doesn't matter what it is, he gets into it. He's one of those people that likes to share his experiences across, especially ground racing. Doesn't mind giving other people pointers, especially when it comes to ship racing. He's there putting in those laps in SCR.GG. Not scared to jump in with other people and ask for their opinions. But overall, I mean, Jacqueline, what were your thoughts on some of his answers about just being a part of Gravity Rush or just racing in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one that resonates the most with me is his last point, where he said, like, if you're just watching these things and just thinking, oh, I wish I could do that. I mean, it is just a matter of get in here and try it. I mean, the community, especially the racing community in Star Citizen, has just been amazing. I mean, I joined Star Citizen with the intent of racing in 2023. So I'm almost 2 years in. And I've just been welcomed with open arms in this community. It's just fantastic. I've had so many people that and to be completely honest, that was the main drive that I had to open up my channel. Is just there's so much knowledge that so many people can know if they're interested in, that might as well just put it all in one place, throw it there, and just try it. I mean, at some point or another, if you really want it and you practice it, you're definitely gonna get there. So, yeah, that's definitely a really good point that he made.
No, I totally agree, man. Practice makes perfect. Getting those, what do you call it? That muscle memory on your controls is super important. I mean, you know, I think the more people race, the more that muscle memory just gets there, and you'll be able to maneuver just like any other racers. But Tint, your thoughts on Hervey's interview? You know, anything that stuck to you, or anything that that he said that really just hits home?
I mean, Herbie is and always has been a class act. He's every racer's favorite racer. I don't know anybody
True,
with a bad thing to
true.
say about him. But and it's people like him that make the community so approachable and so great. And it's fantastic that, you know, we're in a world where he's not the exception, but he is one of many positive voices that's getting people into the space and helping welcome people in. But I think, you know, Herbie's struggling with something we all struggle with from time to time, is, you know, he's not thinking of himself as a top tier racer, but here he is kicking butt with the best of them. So you know, one day I want to see him jump up on a podium and scream, "I earned it," and y'all are worse than me.
I mean, he's done that with System 7 way too many times, then. so, so I mean, just saying here. But honestly, man, I couldn't agree with you all more on that. You know, great competitor, great racer. And I can't just wait. Keep people how much dormant the StarCitizen community is, right? Like the community is very dormant. You see, yes, a lot of activity. You have no idea how much I jump in game and people don't know about ship racing or anything like that. And that's with like CIG communicating a lot of this stuff across the newsletters, across you know, across their website and all this stuff, you know, what do you call it? Their weekly update. And people still don't know about a lot of the racing that they do. So, you know, it's up to the entire community to capture a lot of these peoples until, you know, the community starts to, you know, not become dormant anymore, because everybody's waiting for Squadron 42 to be released, or for the game to get into a beta position to play the game a lot better. But yeah, so great guy. Love you know, love seeing him across all these events. But we have our next interview real quick. Splen is ready to go. Splen, can you hear me, my friend?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, man. Welcome on to Gravity Rush. I hope you've been doing absolutely fantastic, my friend.
I've been doing all right, and thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, of course, of course. We're gonna kick it off with the same question that we had at Herbie. Would love to talk about your preparation around Gravity Rush, and how the season has just, like, your experience been so far.
Okay, so you know, obviously the format's a little bit different than what we were used to. You know, there's a lot of different things going on, and being cemented into that ship choice means that you had to make a commitment, right? So there's a lot of forward thinking on the part of me, and I'm sure Herbie too. Herbie being one of the rare Razor racers in this event, and myself choosing the M50, kind of a second place minority there. And being able to capitalize on what the ship's good parts are, you know, understanding where you're going to lose and trying to really capitalize on where you're going to win. It was cool. I like that aspect of this event very much. It was challenging, and I got to enjoy staying in the seat of the best racing ship ever made, the Origin Jumpworks M50 Interceptor.
This
I see.
is
I see
popping
you,
over here,
jacking.
jacketing.
Yeah,
Over
man,
here,
I'm an
like, yeah,
Origin
that's what I
guy
voted
through and
for in
through.
Ship Showdown.
Yeah.
All I fly are
Jacketing.
Origin ships.
Hey, man, jacketing. I mean, if you want to throw a question at Splen, feel free, man. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I really noticed throughout watching your performances throughout this series is that you really enjoy making your own lines. And we've seen that even for example, one thing that really stuck out to me is Lorval Outskirts. You were probably the only one who used the down pitch to get into Skyway, where, you know, with the M50 as the way it is right now, definitely gave you that kind of boost. But When you came back after your long break due to your injury, how did you decide this is what I'm gonna do? Where if you see every time trial run, everybody's taking the line the exact same way, and you come in and change things up. Like, what is your mentality when you go to lab out these tracks?
Yeah, so it's that's a good question. So it's a combination of two things. Number one, like I said, being able to capitalize on the strengths of the ship is super important when you're locked into a ship like that, right? And right now, the M50 is particularly good and more aerodynamic if you're able to do nose down turns and yaw. So I tried to squeeze those in wherever I want. But you actually picked up a pretty interesting point about me that I used to bring up a lot when I was still streaming, a year or so ago, was that when I do my practice lines and when I do time trials or world records or anything, looking at other people's runs is probably the very last thing I do when I'm looking to shave off the last milliseconds, because you're not going to be able to explore the unknown if you're just doing what everybody else does. If you want to find the most optimal lines, you have to actually try different things. So that's always, 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 always been my philosophy when it comes to racing is you kind of have to just try it yourself. Go with your gut instinct. As I have Peppy Hare from Star Fox say on my stream all the time, never give up and trust your instincts. Do what you think is the best thing and see if you could make it work. Once you get down to needing to shave off milliseconds, then you can start looking at other people's videos for tips and pointers. But I think getting yourself a unique line, or at least trying to find a unique line, gives you that advantage for a couple of reasons. One, you're not going to run into everybody else, right? That's a serious concern, because like if you're on everybody else's line, guess what? You're in their way or they're in your way. One or the other. So at the very least, you get that advantage. Plus, having maybe knowing something your opponent doesn't. When you've got a bunch of competitors that are this close together, having a little edge on your opponent by maybe knowing a little edge that they don't, it really does go a long way when you're talking about, some of our racers being separated by hundredths of a second, right? So that's the philosophy. Yeah, this is the gist of it. Long-winded way of saying, I'd like to do it myself and just try different things. That's a very good question. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Your
thank
own
you, dude.
your
That's
own R&D.
fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tim, do you have any questions for Splin?
Yeah. So obviously we've seen your teammate Samtastic do really well across the course of this event, especially for a new racer to the scene. How much credit do you want to take for that?
Well, Sam I knew Sam was going to be able to do well because Sam is a good pilot, period. I mean, most of the pilots in Legacy Fleet are, we're a very strict, structured, I'm not going to say like too like militaristically structured, but we are at the very least, a pretty exclusive PvP org, and most of the pilots can hold their own. So right off the bat, I know Sam's going to be able to fly well. All I had to do was just show some of the best ways to practice, some tips and tricks about, maximizing your velocity on a vector, in atmosphere and zero G and whatnot. And Sam basically did the rest. I haven't been as available as I'd like to be able to do practice sessions, but we definitely did some practice sessions in the qualifiers together. And I watched Sam like just kind of shave seconds off his time day after day, and he would get so excited and post like, "Yo, Splen, look, I got a sub-minute on Old Van." I'm like, "Yo, let's go." So I do take some credit for being a coach. Not the first time I've done it, obviously. Like one of the big parts of me being, not only a racer but a streamer and a teacher was, of course, trying to encourage others to race. But Sam is very, very naturally talented. I can only take partial credit for that. He's a very good pilot. He's earned every bit of his success, and I'm just happy a Legacy Fleet being represented, and a little piece of land going into the finals, even though I didn't make it myself, with Sam kind of taking the flag for me and running with it. So it's wonderful to see, and definitely a pilot in his own right. It is not Splen 2.0. Sam is a badass, and he's definitely shown it here on the tracks.
Awesome. Well, I have a specific question for you. Obviously, semifinals, you were all the way up to Rush 1. Not to give you PTSD, Splen, but I do really want to ask a question, and this is going to be kind of a two-parter, right? I'm pretty sure one of the biggest challenges of this Gravity Rush is once you DNF or once you crash, you're out of the race. How challenging was that for you to kind of like, did you feel like you have to hold back? Or because of that risk, or regardless, you you're going to race how you're going to race. And then my other part of that question is like, how bummed out were you that unfortunately you did end up crashing and kind of, kind of going through that at Kaplan Stadium for race number 9 during the semifinals?
I'm going to start with your second part of your question first, because I honestly wasn't as bummed out as you'd think. Yes, I was playing, flawless all day in first place all day, and then, boom, the one race that matters, didn't get past the first lap. But honestly, I played it perfectly, and we've been dealing with the turbulence, and it was nighttime, and I just have not had the time I wanted to practice. I can narrow it down to those few things, but given what my life is like and how things are for me, I did the best I could, and I have nothing to be ashamed of. I was very happy with my performance that day. It just sometimes it happens. Sometimes you crash. It's part of the game. It's part of racing. You can't win it all if you don't participate. You got to get in there. You got to put it on the line. I have a natural bit, I guess, of call it the double dog syndrome, where I dare myself to just try to really, really, really push even when you shouldn't. And that was definitely one of those situations where I shouldn't probably have pushed as hard as I did going in the Cargo Valley there at night. I should have lined up the turn, taken it a little slower. I had the lead, but I was just like, you know what? We send it. We full send. And I sent it right into the wall. So, yeah, no, that's so going back to your to the first part of your question. So what was that? Go ahead and ask that again for me so I can kind of like take it in again after reminiscing there.
Yeah, it was basically about, about the rule about, no respawns and,
Yeah.
kind of going into the race knowing that
Right.
once you crash out, you're done. So
yeah, so I kind of partially answered it there, right?
Yeah.
If you hold back too much, somebody's going to take advantage of it. And I have a long and storied history with a lot of good racers. Shaq New comes to mind, where if you start to use too much of what I like to call your leadership economy, being in first place, you start to slow down and take it safe because you're nervous. Guess what? Somebody who's taken it a little less safe than you is going to creep up right behind you. So you got to push. No, it's not time trial lines. What we're doing, obviously, the stakes are not there in a time trial. The stakes are very high. So it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of in between. There's really a lot going on, man. I mean, you're talking my heart rate just from brain power and trying to deal with the stress, 160 BPM easy, like marathon level heart rate going into this stuff, because your mind's going 1,000 miles a second. Should I push this turn too fast? What are my options coming up in this turn? How am I going to pass this guy in front of me? What's this back marker going to do? So you definitely have to tone down how hard you push it for the when you're worried about a DNF. But at the same time, again, it's like a fine balance. It's an art. You kind of have to pull back when you think you should and push when you think you should. You can't just I'm okay. Don't get me wrong. There are people who have been really successful in playing it really safe. I've watched Diplomat, for example, in some of his races that he's done really, and I believe I'm referring to the Stanton Cup here, 2022, 2023 Stanton Cup, where Diplomat really did very well for himself, just playing the safe lines, not oversteering, just driving like a car. Herbie comes to mind as well. With Herbie's Herbie's definitely gotten so much better at ship racing, but like when Herbie was still using mouse and keyboard, same thing. Like you could really go far for yourself playing it super duper duper safe. You might not get first place. And so there's a lot of pressure on my part to live up to the expectations of the fans and truly try to get myself on the podium, right? So I'm going to push a little harder than I would maybe if I was just trying to, get fourth place or fifth place,
Got it.
So, that perfect cocktail, that's the kind of things that let you smash into the wall going into Cargo Valley, But again, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not that upset about it because you gotta send it. You want those moments to live forever. You don't want those moments to pass by. So many legendary things that happened in the Stanton Cup and in the Time Trial Masters for SCR.GG. That you just live in eternity because you got a racer or two who just decided to pull out all the stops and do the craziest things you've ever seen. I live for those moments, man. I'm never going to pass up a moment to do that. Even if it's going to cost me, I'm going to go for it. That's just just who I am. It's my philosophy.
Awesome. Well, Splen, I believe our next racers are ready to go. So really quickly, any last things you want to say to the community that's currently watching out there, or anybody that may be watching on, the VOD later on? Any advice you want to give people that, that may want to be a part of, these races, but don't know where to start, or just in general, anything you want to say to the community?
Yeah. So first, I'm going to start by addressing the racers. I'm super duper 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 proud of all of you. I had a conversation a week ago where I was just like, wow, so many of these racers have been inspired by my older work and a lot of the work of the orgs in here. And here they are showing up, beating my ass, and really showing the world what skilled esports legends look like. So I'm so proud of all of you. Keep it up. Really excited to see how this plays out. And then for everybody watching, all the fans, even if you're not a racer and you're looking to get into it, obviously there's so many resources available for you. ATMO Esports, of course. Join their Discord. Go online. Google search StarCitizen Sport. Thing you need nowadays. There's so much material out there, but never feel ashamed to reach out. Sam Tastic here. This is his first race. Perfect example. Okay, somebody who's never participated in a race before in the finals in a major esports event. You can do it. Trust me. The skill cap is high, but don't give up. Believe in yourself. That's all I have to say. Just don't give up.
All righty. Well, Splen, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for a great interview. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Lorville Outskirts coming up right now. We're going to crown our champion, our top 3 today. So without further ado, we're going to send it over quickly to Croncy and Cyberfox. Almost forgot.
Hello, 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 hello. Well, we are back in Lorville Outskirts. I love this track, and I'm looking forward to seeing our special endurance 6-lap races for this round.
So am I. That was a lovely little break for us. That was great to just listen to Herbie and Splen for a little while we got the races ready, which they're pretty much already ready to go into the countdown, which is great. So if you've been following or if you haven't been following, quick update as we get to our 1-minute countdown. We have 6 races. We're into our final 3 races right now where points are doubled. And currently, we have Liquid Prime on 32, Jellyhead on 23, Ordito on 21, Shaqnu on 13, Samtastic on 8, and Canadian Maverick on 5. Lots of room for these numbers to move around now with these next 3. Not only that, we're going to be doing 6 laps. We're a bit more endurance racy with these next couple ones.
Yeah, that's right. And this is one of my favorite tracks to race as well. It's one of the I think it's the first race mission in the Persistent universe as well for the Wildstar races in the PU. Great track to start with. Pretty easy to learn. And everybody here is leveled out on snub ships. They're all in P72s as well. So we're going to see some real fierce battles on this track today.
Yeah, but gone are the M50s, gone are the Razor. We're on even playing fields all across the board now, which is great. I really like that. We're completely getting rid of choice, and it's just all about skill now, which is great. So let us know in all of the chats, wherever you are. If you're on Twitch, if you're on X, if you're on YouTube, if you are downloading this on 2007 LimeWire, let us know. Who are you going for today? Who's going to make it? Who's going to push forward? And we'll give you the updates of the points as we go through. Because like I said, points are going to be jumping around. Double the points. We've got some big fights here right now between Jelly and Ordito right on top of each other. Liquid Prime are well out ahead at the moment with 32. But one bad DNF for Liquid Prime puts them right back into contention, right? Puts our whole top 3 back within punching range. So I'm excited to see how these end up evolving over the course of the next hour or so.
Yeah, it's absolutely all to play for, and I think this is a fantastic culmination to end the tournament on. And again, Gravity Rush. So we're in thick ATMO, we're in thick gravity right now. We're very low on within Lorville on a main planet in the star system. So they're going to be fighting all of the turbulence. They're going to be fighting the weather system. They're going to be fighting the day-night cycle. As well as the aerodynamics of their ships as well. So everything is going to come into play here today. We've got our 30-second countdown timer. Remind me, Croncy, who's taking this one?
Me for this one. So get ready, everyone. Race number 7 of the day. The last race of the entire Gravity Rush is about to be underway. Good luck to all of our competitors. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And we are off on lap number 1.
Absolutely, and Shagnu is pulling ahead. I think just overtook a bunch of racers there, coming into the drop, coming around that first really sharp turn, had loads of overtakes. I'm not sure how the pack is laying out. Audito looks like he's just behind Shagnu, coming underneath under pressure and moving on towards Skyway. We've got Audito and Shagnu definitely battling it out for that first place position.
Yeah, right on top of each other.
And we can see them.
I was looking just earlier, I think Liquid is just behind them too. So a big section of, yeah, there we go. We can see Liquid and Jellyhead. So 4 competitors at least right on top of each other at the very start of this race as we head in around the last few corners of the first lap.
Yeah, so very tight corner there for brake check and coming around homeward bound before the last 180 turn into the start finish. And it looks like Liquid Prime is really keeping up. Just did an overtake there as well, really close. Moving into 3rd position, I think. Shagnu in 1st, Audito in 2nd, Liquid in 3rd. Is that how this is working? I can't tell.
It appears, yeah, or Shagnu, Audito, Liquid, and then we're looking at Jelly. So still all right next to each other. Now you may have noticed Canadian Maverick did win the race to Maria Pure of Heart. So unfortunately that is a DNF there for Canadian Maverick on this first of our last 3 races. And just look at these packs absolutely fight for it. Looks like, ooh, is that not moving Audito? No, we're good. We're good.
No, Audito's fine,
and Shagnu still right on top of each other coming around the turn.
Yeah, Jelly had made keeping up with Liquid here as well. So it looks like a battle for 3rd and 4th place and a battle for 1st and 2nd with a little bit of spread between 2nd, 3rd and 4th. But Shagnu Audito right at the front, pushing it and literally just back and forthing each other, coming into their 3rd lap now after crossing the finish line for the 2nd time with Shagnu in 1st and Audito in 2nd, followed by Liquid and Jellyhead. And then Samtastic still surviving, but keeping up the back of the pack. Coming down now for Under Pressure.
Only 5 seconds behind Jellyhead. So one of their better performances so far today, being able to stay this much into the race. As we are looking right now from Audito's perspective at Shagnu. Shagnu's been able to separate themselves a little bit from Audito, but still not over yet. Plenty of time for Audito to try to make an attack here against Shagnu. And for Liquid and Jellyhead to pull back into this first little pack.
And through brake check, you got to watch out for all of these hanging cranes and arms as they go underneath the checkpoints and around the corner towards homeward bound. Now, I am a little terrified that Audito still has quite a healthy boost as well as he comes round to the 3rd lap, coming on to the 4th lap now, I think, just closing out his 3rd. He's managing his boost well. I think all of the racers are doing really well, not only to keep up with each other, but to pace themselves, to spread out the use of their boost, to make sure that they're not running too much on the red. So, you know, just having Audito breathing down your neck means that Shagnu cannot make a mistake. He can't make a slight miscalculation on any of these corners. It's just a lot of pressure from all of the racers here today.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got 2 big fights here right now between Shagnu and Audito, and then Liquid Prime and Jellyhead made. As you can see here, we've got Liquid Prime about 500 meters or so ahead of Jelly as they move into that back straight. These fights have been consistent, but no one's been able to really punish anyone since like the first lap. These distances are starting to extend further and further and further without too much pressure. Like continuing, there hasn't been a lot of back and forth like we saw on Rickard Memorial, for example.
Yeah, and what's surprising me as well is those racers who are racing in like racing ships instead of in snubs are just doing equally as well as those racers who have been in snubs the entire time, showing that everybody's put in the time, put in the practice on these additional ships. It is getting a little bit darker now as the sun is beginning to set, so visibility is making a big difference here we'll soon be moving into the night of the night, the night part of the night cycle, of the day-night cycle, and I think that's going to be another challenge for these racers. They might have to contend with the headlights of the players in front of them, the racers in front of them, blinding them as they try to keep up.
Now, notably in this lap, Audito has made a little bit of distance back from Shaknu, and this may be their opportunity in these last 2 laps to get finally ahead and pull it in for the finish. But we'll see. Still plenty of room to be made, and Shaknu is not going to make this one easy. Although,
he's taking that really
Shaknu
wide.
may have missed a checkpoint there. Shaknu went way off to the side. Audito now in the lead, I believe, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happened there. And I think we also may have lost Liquid Prime due to a DNF just moments ago.
Yeah, so Shaknu took the corner really wide. Not sure if the visibility was an issue there, just as I was speaking about. Very hard to orient yourself when you've got the orange sky and the brown sludge of the of Hurston beneath you. Very difficult to make out what's going on the ground. Shaknu now trying to cut the corners a little bit tighter. Got a healthy boost meter. Again, not overcooking it, not pushing it too hard. With Audito now as far ahead from Shaknu as Shaknu was to Audito just moments ago.
Yeah, all the meanwhile, Fantastic Kit still getting some fantastic time in, but just keeping it a little bit slower. Let's get a look at Shaknu's perspective as we get into these final corners here for the end of a race, race number 7 today. Audito is going to look like to be our first winner, getting double points for this one, followed by Shaknu. A great performance from both races.
Yeah, and this is going to mean that Audito is going to secure his top position in the leaderboard. Jellyhead Maid coming in for a close 3rd position here as well. So they're secure on the leaderboard. They're pretty strong, and Shaknu is fighting his way back up with that 2nd place finish. And Samtastic again gaining those points that are much needed at this stage and pulling in a 4th position for this first of our 3 final races.
What a fantastic race, number 7 here at the Lawville outskirts. We'll get these points updated for you guys in a second so we can get you the exact numbers, and we'll let you know what those are. But I do believe this is going to mean Audito is, going to shot put ahead of Liquid Prime by a couple of points now. Shaknu should be getting 10 points here, I believe, so that'll push them into the top 3 as well. It's still, actually, I think they'll still be 4th, but it'll push them within that, couple of points difference of the top 4. So some big changes here. You were talking during that race about how well everyone was performing and how much practice they must have all gotten in and all that sort of stuff. And I've got to imagine this is the one you've practiced the most out of these 7 places that we've gone to today, because they're worth double. That's really important. That matters a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It did look like Shaknu did overshoot a checkpoint, so a bit of correction was needed there, which is why he took things a little wider. And yeah, just a great spread from all of these races. It looks like they're spawning their ships ready for the second, making sure that they can get back onto the track for our leg with Lawville outskirts. We have our times up as well, so we got our best laps with Shaknu posting a 1 minute 2 seconds 0.106 and Audito posting a 1 minute 2 seconds 0.430. So literally 3/10ths of a second between them for their best laps. Absolutely stellar. Liquid and Jelly did a 1 minute 3 second best lap, and Samtastic a 1 minute 6 best lap. So yeah, really fantastic, consistent performances for everybody for this race.
Indeed it is. So, as I look at the points updates from what I'm seeing right now, so our race, I'm still in first with 36 points. So only a 4-point addition there, as they had that DNF in the 5th. It was the 5th lap. Audito has shot put all the way to 33 points. Jellyhead with 31. So we have these three racers at the top here within 5 points of each other. And then Shaknu now with 23 points. So if Shaknu gets 2 more good positions here, they could end up putting themselves in the top 3. Samtastic with a great finish there as well, going to be at 14 points. And Maverick, unfortunately, due to that early DNF at 5 points. But we'll see how it goes. Now, it's going to take a couple of minutes while they run this one back. So we're going to quickly throw it back to the desk, guys. And then, yeah, as soon as possible.
Lorville Outskirts right off the rip, man. That was pretty intense there for that first for that first race there. We did see a lot of good finishes. I'm honestly very impressed with Samtastic. Finishing that up, getting that fourth place spot, and I think we're gonna see hopefully a lot of these racers get a little bit more comfortable there. But Tint, right, start off with you, man. How was your first initial thoughts here at Lorville Outskirts?
I mean, obviously, I think the biggest thing we could talk about is how that's exactly the opposite of what Liquid was hoping for in this scenario. I think he was probably, hopefully even taking it a little bit conservative, hoping to be able to burn a little bit of the lead he'd built up in the first 6 races. But unfortunately, with being the only DNF on the table from our top contenders, it's a tough break, and it's going to put him into a real tight spot for the following races. We did see him going wide on a few lines. I think probably some practice from the M50 bleeding back over into the way he was handling the snub, which is sort of one of the tough parts about this last, ship switch up, having some of these guys change over to the P72. But by the same token, of course, we've seen the P72 throughout this entire race pulling some incredibly exceptional times. And I mean, even our slowest time for this race of 106 from Samtastic would be an absolutely killer lap that most people in the verse would struggle to get anywhere close to, no matter what the ship is.
Nope, totally agree there. And yeah, like I said, man, tough spot there for Liquid Prime. We'll have to make up some time, but still leading the charge with points because of how well he did in the first 6 races. But shooting it right over to you, Jacqueline. What were your thoughts on this first race at Lorville Outskirts?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, right off the line, the overtake that Shaknu managed to pull off at the third checkpoint at the drop was phenomenal. I mean, I believe that Shaknu was starting off from 3rd or 4th place on the grid at that point, and somewhere around there, and just immediately just cut in front of everyone there. That was fantastic to see. From there, just really unfortunate that Liquid ended up getting that DNF. I believe it was on lap 5. So yeah, just barely didn't make it. I mean, the visibility was getting worse and worse. We could see from the replay, we could see from a lot of the racers' perspective. We did catch the race starting at sunset. So we started off with some daylight and immediately transitioned to the dark. So it could be why Shaknu ended up going wide when he did. Probably a visibility loss, overshot the checkpoint, had to circle back around, giving Ordito that space and allowing Ordito to now catch up on the points and make this a much, much tighter battle going for the final 2 races.
Yep. I mean, things are going to get tighter here. I mean, if Shakno keeps it up, like Croncy mentioned, we should see some placement changes here. But let's take a quick look at the overall standings right now and see where some of these racers are at. So we have Liquid Prime at 36 points currently at this time, or Dito 33. Jelly had made it 31, Shaknu at 23 points, and then we have Samtastic with 14, and then Canadian Maverick right behind with 5 points. And then we had, I believe, our best lap was at 102. So Ordito and Shaknu were very, very close to very close to each other. But you had Ordito taking that initial lap number 1 by just a few milliseconds right there. So, but I believe we have our next race coming up, our next Lorville Outskirts. And by the way, these 6 laps are gruesome. They need to be consistent throughout the entire time, and they could, kind of like how we saw with Liquid Prime DNF around later on into those laps. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. So We got 2 more races to go. We're going to try to push it so we don't end up racing at nighttime. But Croncy, Cyberfox, take it away, guys. Let's jump into race number 8.
And back again for another 2 races here, our final 2 races here at the Lorville outskirts over on Hurston. How did you feel about that first race, Cyber?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really thrilled to see all of the racers perform at the highest level. Obviously, getting used to the high gravity, high atmo racing, and yeah, don't let this video deceive you. It is going to be sunset when we do start this next race. So visibility is going to be an issue that they're going to be fighting against as well. So not only was it great to see them race at sunset just before it went dark, but I'm looking forward to seeing them really push it to the limit for this next round.
Yeah, I mean, I like always getting to see like each different racetrack in its different variants, right? In terms of light and dark and whatnot. It's quite nice. But yeah, I think we're going to be fully enclosed in night for this one, well, for these next 2. Most likely we'll see, but we got a great race out of the first one, so I'm hoping we get much of the same.
Well, we can't make it too easy for them, can we?
No, that's why we've also changed everyone's ship to a reclaimer for this one, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, hopefully we saw some really awesome fights. We had a couple pack fights in the last race, especially between Ordito and Shaknu, then Liquid and Jellyhead. And for the first 2 laps, all 4 of them were kind of on top of each other the whole time. So if you're watching from home, that's what I'd be looking for. See if any of their strategies change at all. See if anyone tries to take it a little bit riskier. Obviously, Liquid Prime now only being 3 points in the lead. There's a lot more on the line than he was probably hoping for. So we'll see how it goes with our 1-minute countdown starting.
Absolutely. And we've got this whole points narrative coming into play now as we come into our penultimate race, with Shaknu really cutting past the competition and catching up on the board, or beginning to. So I'm looking forward to seeing that narrative evolve and develop, really rooting for Shaknu in this second of our 3 final races. We've got our 30-second countdown, and we've got a disconnect and a crashed desktop. So we are going to have a little bit of a delay before this one gets set up again. But we should just be able to spawn straight back into place. We can see Shaknu's ship there.
Sure.
It's just floating in position. So once his game boots back up, it shouldn't be too much of a delay. Everybody else is ready. And yeah, just taking in the cool, calm atmosphere here. It looks like it's a clear night at Lorville on Hurston. Not too much rain going on or anything like that. So,
what about like, you know, we've had rain now for about 4 months in the game.
Yeah,
maybe not even that long. I had not even thought about the fact that we now have races where weather, like that kind of weather, can become an issue.
yeah, and no windscreen wipers either. So it's really a real big issue.
No, we'll just
But
get
I love
them
this.
to
It is
jump out onto the ship.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly clear night for such an industrial planet, right? Like Hurston, it's got all of the mines, it's got all of the workers there, it's got all of the industrial city. But yeah, it just looks so beautiful. I love the rework. I love the architecture. I love the idea that, you know, these are the sort of life-sized buildings, and looking forward to seeing ARCorp's remake to bring ARCorp City into the same level as Lorville as well.
That will make, when we go back to the skyscraper, will make it quite nicer. I think it'll be cool to check out. So hopefully this crash to desktop ends up getting fixed pretty quickly. I mean, you even pointed out we have had the luck of the fact that, you know, crash to desktops are no longer as brutal as they used to be. Now you usually can just get back in and you'll be right and ready to go. So hopefully we've got a countdown coming back for you guys pretty soon. But let us know. We got race number 8 about to get underway. Who are you guys going for? Who do you think is going to take this one? I'm not even asking Cyberfox for a prediction at this point because I have cursed every single track today. And I don't want to run that back.
It's been good. And I think, you know, they're all bunched up at the start of the race, and then the pack spreads out a lot, and then we get to, you know, see if they can stay spread out, see if they could stay in the lead, or if we get like an upset, or if we get like a mistake or anything like that. So I think there's a lot that's going to happen because it's dark, because there's just more room for those sorts of dramatic moments to happen when it's nighttime. I mean, you can see the flying around from this external camera as well. It's kind of hard to orient yourself, hard to know what you're looking at. It's almost like a visual, I don't know what the word is, but like just seeing the rocks move and the crane move, it makes my eyes not know what they're looking at, really. Even though these racers know the track inside out, like it's just so weird. It's like a visual distortion.
Yep, no, 100%. So, oh, it's been a long day, but it's been a fun day today, everyone. Hope you've all been enjoying the end of Gravity Rush, and hopefully we'll get to see all you guys back here again next year. Hopefully some of you may compete next year if you didn't consider competing this time. It's been very cool to see everyone jump in on it this time around, and the format's been very enjoyable to watch, and yeah.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable to commentate as well, because it just created some new moments, like the fact that they've proven themselves in the Arena Commander simulator pod almost, and now they're racing for real in the PU, and we had that with Kaplan as well. So yeah, really exciting to see the PU play a part as well as Arena Commander. It sounds like we are getting Shaknu's stream sorted. Shaknu seems to be back in the game and recovered, so we will hopefully get this race underway shortly. But yeah, I just feel like Lorville is a great place to end it, because this is one of the first public events that were held in the racing community way back when the track had no official CIG support, no extra geometry, no extra assets. I think they've done a great job at making each turn more visual and more memorable. It's one of the easier races to learn because of all the architecture that's around. I think it's a beautiful track.
Yeah, I fully agree. I also love I love ending in Lorville. It's a very classic ATMO location to do the ending of a lot of these races. For the first 3 years of the season, we would be out here in Lorville as well, doing some racing here, and so it's nice to come back with some ships, get some real speed in. But our countdown is back. We are back again, ready. So barring any issues, this is going to be all you once again, Fox. This is going to be your last time for the Gravity Rush doing a countdown.
Yeah, bittersweet. Bittersweet. It's I'm very excited to see how this one plays out. Looks like Shaknu's trying to dock his ship at the moment as well, which isn't going to go very well for him if he needs to race. Speaking by like a Connie.
Onto a ship and you let that one.
I'd love to see anybody who has a faster ship than Shaknu. Let's yeah. So it looks like we got a 30-second countdown, and we've got like a lovely external view here for the first corner. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And we've got Audito followed by Shaknu for an early start. They must have like gone full bore out of off the line right off the bat, using their boost, coming around with Jellyhead Maid and Liquid Prime close behind. So it looks like another 2v2 battle for first and second and third and fourth, and we'll see how this plays out as they come through under pressure and move towards brake check in the dark. Very difficult to see, and it looks like there might be a little bit of rain as well happening, just to make things a little bit more tricky. They're using their scanners to see what's going on and make sure that they can see that they can keep up with the geometry without hitting anything, using their scanners to highlight everything as they go along. Audito looks like he might be out in first place. Yeah, we've got Liquid in third, just following Shaknu, and yeah, just a fantastic clean start to the race.
Yeah, very similar to race number one, lap number one, but this time we've got Audito in the lead instead of Shaknu, but both of them still right on top of each other, fighting for pole position. And then we have Liquid Prime getting through, and then Samtastic Jelly, it sounds like, has missed a checkpoint. So we did have a fight between Liquid and Jelly, but which is just a funny sentence to say, but also it looks like that's gonna cost Jelly quite a bit. And Samtastic is actually now pulling into fourth, and I believe was only a couple of seconds behind Liquid. So we may have a fight here. between Samtastic and Liquid, and we'll see how that evolves over the next couple of laps.
Yeah, and that's going to have some huge implications on our leaderboard as well if Jelly can't catch up after that little upset. So Audito and Shaknu battling it out now, battling the rain as well. Again, no windscreen wipers. Shaknu going into the precision targeting mode to try and get a bit of extra visibility there. It doesn't look like they've got their headlights on. Headlights cause a lot of glare, of course, so you don't want the glare with the rain and with all the extra lights shining on your windshield. Looks like they're coming around the final corner from Homeward Bound to do the checkpoint and the start-finish line for the next lap.
So there we go. Our first three are in lap number 3. Still waiting on Samtastic. Oh, I think we have a DNF from Samtastic there. That looks like a death screen to me. So I think we've got a collision of some description. Jellyhead is going to move into 4th place position. Still quite a fair way away from Liquid Prime, though. The Canadian Maverick still yet to cross the line to get into lap number 3.
Yeah, and it looks like Shaknu in 2nd place is battling out with Audito and Liquid. Still a little bit far behind. Can't really make up that time. But Canadian Maverick staying in there in 5th place, making sure that he survives, making sure that he gets points on the board. Again, Shaknu moving into precision targeting mode by the looks of it. Things look to be clearing up. It looks like the weather has calmed down a little bit, not so much rain on the windshields. Shaknu keeping the pressure on Audito as they come around the final corner, is it? For, lap number 3 and coming into lap number 4.
Yeah, we are now into the second half of the race. Audito has not given up 1st place position the entire race so far, but Shaknu has stayed a pretty consistent 2 seconds behind each lap. So should be able to hold on to that, I imagine, and maybe we end up in a similar situation that we ended up in lap number 1, where one large mistake from our leader makes 2nd place get in there. So Liquid Prime and Jellyhead also in lap number 4, and then a Maverick making his way in now.
Yeah, Liquid Prime using the rear view there just to check before he takes some turns, making sure he's aware of his surroundings. With Audito and Shaknu, I'm sure there wasn't 2 seconds between them when they first passed through the start-finish line. Canadian Maverick here as well, keeping up. Again, just making sure, a little bit dodgy. Looks like he's missed the checkpoint. Looks like he's going to have to go back around. But again, survival is the name of the game here for Canadian Maverick. Just got to get points on the board. But yeah, I didn't think there was 2 seconds between Audito and Shaknu. So I think, it says there's just over a second. I think that might just be tapping into scr.gg. Might be a bit of a lag because I feel like their first checkpoint when they went round to lap 2, they were literally like half a second between themselves. So they're settling into their positions and I guess just not taking it easy, but just keeping consistent.
Yeah, and not to mention, looks like Shaknu has gained a lot of distance on Audito. I think they have actually taken over at this moment, as we just saw a little bit earlier, Audito fly a little bit out to the side there. So the fight is very certainly on as we get into the late stage of lap number 5 here.
Yeah, so they came around a brake check and they're moving towards Homeward Bound. Audito is definitely behind Shaknu, as you pointed out. Yeah, absolutely. So there was a sneaky overtake there by Shaknu. Perhaps a bit of visibility made Audito lose his place a little bit. Or maybe, just catching in the trail of Shaknu there now, causing extra visual dissonance to contend with. Shaknu's taken the lead. Maverick has now been lapped, so he's now a back marker, causing another thing to contend with. Maverick's just DNF'd as well, unfortunately, in 5th place on his 4th lap. So it really is a battle of 4 people now. This endurance race, taking people out and causing, really close flying, causing a lot of issues for these racers.
Indeed it is. So yeah, still big fight here between Shaknu and Audito in this final lap of race number 2. Liquid Prime and Jellyhead very solidly within their position, but I don't think there's going to be a situation where Liquid Prime's able to catch up at this point, barring some large mistake from our 1st or 2nd place position currently. So as we come into this final turn, let's have a look at Audito. As you can see, Shaknu right ahead. Are they going to be able to push ahead into that final turn? I don't think so. Shaknu is going to take race number 2. Audito just barely behind in 2nd. That was a great fight from the 2 of them for the entire race. just in lap number 5, Shacknu able to push it ahead. Liquid Prime is going to come in 3rd, and Jellyhead is going to make their way into 4th. Not a bad race at all, Cyberfox.
No, really dynamic. And I think just racing at this level is so difficult. They make it look easy, but I know from my perspective, having practiced this track, that racing that consistently against all that they're fighting with is not something that I could just do in the middle of a competition, in the middle of an event, and be competitive at the same time. I'd be thrown off by everything that's happening.
Yeah, as Crucian would say, I totally agree. Speaking of Crucian, we're going to send you guys back to the desk now to find out a little bit about those 6 laps and hear more about some of this awesome racing that we just saw between Shacknu and Audito, and a little bit of what might have happened, earlier there between Liquid and Samtastic. So back to the desk.
All righty, welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying the last few races of the Gravity Rush Finals here for this inaugural season. But man, Shacknu is bringing the heat, leaving the dust and the rain, everything behind. It's beautiful to see. But will that be enough to get him through the top 3 or even to the top 2? Because I know he was a little bit behind earlier, but we'll take a look at the standings here after we have our incredible analyst Jacqueline and Tint break it down for us. So without further ado, Jacqueline, let's kick it off to you, man. Race number 8, in this time Louisville Outskirts. We had 2 people DNF, see a little bit of resistance there. They're racing at night, which is a little bit more difficult. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so there was a lot of factors getting in the way in this one. So yeah, so for one, we are dead on in the middle of the night right now. So it's really dark. You see everybody spam pinging, trying to see the geometry up ahead of them, and then to top it all off, we ended up getting the rain here as well. So there's no way that we can currently get rid of it. So it's blurry all over the place, and yeah, but like from the racers' perspective, the Ordito versus Shacknu fight was fantastic the whole way through, just that back and forth. And the Liquid versus Jelly fight was also really, really awesome. Liquid having to start from P5 because of the DNF that he had in the previous turn, and still fought his way to that 3rd place position very early on. Unfortunately, Jelly did end up missing a checkpoint, so he kind of had to circle back and then drop the position, having to fight for that 4th place spot with Samtastic. But one thing that was also really interesting, that on the 5th, I'm not sure if it was the 4th or 5th lap, I think it was the 5th, Shacknu managed to get an overtake done on Ordito. And given all of these conditions, being so close, Ordito ended up being in the smoke trail of the ship. And I noticed Ordito had to adjust his line just so he could actually see what's ahead of him. So he had the darkness, he had the rain, he had all of the spam pinging, whatever, and to top it off, he had to contend with Shacknu's smoke trails there. So forced him to adjust the lines. So Shacknu did manage to get the win from that.
Yeah, I mean, and it was a bummer because Jelly had definitely missed a checkpoint as well. But man, I honestly at night I'm so scared of seeing these people go through under pressure. Every single time, man. I'm like, I clench pretty badly there because it's nerve wracking. But Tint, your thoughts on race number 8 here for this time around Laurelville Outskirts?
I think, if there's one thing I noticed during the race that I want to talk about, it's the fact that Shacknu is the only one not spam pinging. And that instills a certain level of fear and awe in me at the same time. Because, yeah, we're all so used to using the ping to highlight the terrain, to get the layout in front of us. And Shacknu seems to be getting by with the graphics adjustments he's made. I'm not sure if there's a little bit of reshade mixed in there or what's going on in terms of getting him a brighter view. But he's also very clearly practiced this to the extent where he's not at all even really looking at the track in some places, which is just wild to see. And it's also, I think, good to highlight the differences we're seeing between Ordito and Shacknu. In part is one of consistency, where Shacknu is actually coming in slightly slower on his best lap, but his laps are on average more consistently close to that time, whereas Ordito is seeing a little bit more variance between them. And that's ultimately causing him to come out slightly behind overall for this race. So even if you're not the absolute fastest racer on the track, and to be clear, we're talking about a difference of a third of a second here. Like this is,
Yeah.
we're down to splitting hairs because that's the level of racing we're at. But even if you're not the fastest racer on the track, being consistent is so frequently the most important component of it. It's what we saw in the first 6 races with Liquid being consistently safe, not crashing, racking up points every single track. And here we're seeing Shacknew's lap over lap times are incredibly consistent against the rest of the field.
Well, I mean, it's I couldn't have said it better, and I honestly I didn't even notice that he wasn't pinging because everybody else was pinging, so I just felt like he was pinging there. So very good call out there, and very good point. But just to iterate to people that are watching at home, we reshade is actually not allowed to be used, but you can use the in-game settings that you are allowed to use. So you can bring down gamma or raise it up as much as you want because that's a part of the in-game settings. We want the competitors to actually just use the basic settings that the game has because when it comes to a LAN environment, they can't use reshade. They can't add any programs to, to that those PCs that they use there. So hey, they have to use what the game gives them, which is going to be like that across the board. So but our results are very, very nerve wracking here. Let's take a look at these results right now because the top 4 are and yeah, I don't understand this right now, but we got our fastest lap with Shacknu in the first one with 102, and then Ordito with 102. Not even 3, a 3/10 of a millisecond. Jeez, man, that's incredible, insanely close. But look at this, man. Liquid Prime 44 points in first place, Ordito 43 points in second place. Jelly had made with 37, Shacknu with 35. Right, Samtastic and Canadian Maverick. Those two still really appreciate them continuing to race. But honestly, this could be a change across the board. The top 4 is still like anything could happen right now. Jacket and Tint, it's pretty scary, right? So going to be a definitely nerve-wracking last race for all of these racers that are currently in the top 4 because Shacknu can jump up all the way to first place or second or third or jelly head as well. So it's going to be a crazy one. Before we jump into our last race, though, I'm going to shoot it over to you, right back to you, Tint. Give me a breakdown of what you think is going to happen in this last one.
Well, I think right now Liquid is staring a very important choice dead in the face of, do I want to be first or do I want to make the podium? Because right now he's having to decide, do I want to go for broke? Do I want to try and beat Ordito and Shacknu? Or do I want to race a safe pace, come in 3rd or 4th place and let the points I've already got carry me onto the podium? We're also probably seeing a little bit of that question coming from Jelly of how much do I want to push it and how much do I want to bet that my competitors are going to make a mistake? And all 4 of them are within striking distance, but all 4 of them are also relying on other people's choices. And this is one of those 3D chess situations that racers have to deal with, where the only person here who's, I think, got a real clear line of what he's going to do is Ordito, because Ordito is going to do what Ordito always does, which is fly it within an inch of its life and see what happens.
Gotcha. Well, let's continue on here. Jacket, and your thoughts. What are your thoughts? I mean, sorry, what are your predictions here for this last race and even, that top 3?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much an all or nothing thing, right? So we have first and second places are literally 1 point difference between each other. So if Liquid wants to get a win, then his objective is just finish ahead of Ordito. But based on what we've been seeing in these past 2 races, at the moment, Ordito and Shacknu have been just neck and neck at the front. Very, very difficult to pass. Liquid, I mean, considering that he's been doing the entire series in the M50, coming in with the P72 now and being able to compete with these guys who have been in the snubs is just fantastic to see. But yeah, we have four potential podium finishers here. It's just a matter, as Tin said, is who wants to push and who just wants to secure their spot on the podium to get those top 3.
Right.
I do think that Ordito is coming in with the advantage for this. So if you want a predicted winner, Ordito is probably the favorite going into this one.
Okay. I definitely want to see some, I don't know, man. I love seeing a Cinderella story. I love seeing somebody come from behind. So, Shaq unfortunately, the first 3 races didn't have that best of a start, but I think he's definitely bringing the heat this time around. And let's see what happens if he's gonna, sit on that top 3 throne here in this last race. But ladies and gentlemen, for our last race of the day, we're doing our last race back again in Laurelville Outskirts. Another 6 laps. Let's take a look, and we're gonna have, of course, Croncy and Cyberfox give us that play-by-play, and let's see who's gonna be our top 3 finalists here in the inaugural season of Gravity Rush. So thank you all so much for watching.
Well, hello,
Alrighty.
Croncy.
Hello. Welcome back, everyone. One of my favorite pastimes is cutting Crucian off mid-sentence. It's very fun. I recommend everyone try it at least once. We are back. We have one more race to go for the entirety of Gravity Rush. We also have, if you see this, Cyberfox, updates on the last race.
I do see this. Yeah, you take it ahead.
So, unfortunately, Shaknu missed the first checkpoint on the final lap of the last race. So they are going to be receiving a 5-second penalty, which means Shaknu actually came in second last race, making Audito come in first. And that matters, because where we were with points, Audito was behind Liquid Prime by, I think, a point, and is now ahead of Liquid Prime by a point. Big deal going into this final race. Still,
yeah, absolutely.
Still,
you're going to say, still
44.
all to play for. Yeah.
Exactly. I think actually because of that, as long as if whoever won out of the 2 of them, if they were first and second place at the end of this race, it wouldn't matter because of the way that the double points and stuff work. But it's still, it still matters in the long run. If Liquid ends up coming third and something like that, right? The math does work around there, so it is a big deal.
Yeah, and it's a time penalty rather than a points penalty. It just affects the points because of the final time given. And so what they're going to do is they're just going to adjust the grid. So the starting positions for this race are going to be slightly different. So there's going to be a little bit of a delayed start, which actually kind of works in the race's favor because it is chucking it down here at Laurelville on Hurston. And, perhaps the extra time, a few seconds extra delay might give them a chance to for this weather to pass over. And you can see Liquid just moving his position as well. They're just reshuffling the grid to make sure that everybody's in a safe starting position.
Yep, 100%. But I gotta admit, this looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
Let's make sure you guys got all your wet tires on for this race. It's gonna make it extra easy, I'm sure. Yeah, so it's nice that we can have that in the game now, which is cool. But yeah, this is gonna be a big one. Let us know, guys, as we fix up the grid. Who do you think is gonna take this one down? At the moment, we have 4 races that can top 3. And that is currently Audito on 45, Liquid Prime on 44, Jelly on 37, and Shaknu on 33. Audito and Liquid Prime are essentially locked into top 3. It's just who's going to take that last spot. And of course, what that top 3 is going to look like, where we're actually going to end up position-wise at the end of it, right? So, I mean, yeah, I've been deliberately not doing predictions, but what we said earlier today when we were talking about the first few races really has just continued to be replicated. Some of these races have just been so consistent today.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tint's point about we're splitting hairs in our commentary and analysis just to try and find out who is the better racer in this. They're all exceptionally fantastic racers, exceptionally fantastic pilots, and they're putting their skill on display for everybody live while competing with each other. It's just such a showcase of skill, and I feel like if you were to put me on that track, it would be a whole other story.
I agree. Cyberfox would definitely crush everyone here. Let's be real, guys. Come on. All right, 60-second countdown is on its way, which means it's almost time for the last countdown of the entire season, Gravity Rush 2025. It has been an honor with all of you guys. Can't wait to watch this one with all of you, and can't wait to shout at Cyberfox. And yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, and I feel like as well with this starting very, very tight grid and the first 180-degree corner, they've got to survive that corner because, you know, we spoke about not having any upsets, but a DNF could really change the points as well. So, you know, you
Very
say
much
that
so.
some people are secure in the podium. I'm not so sure. Not with all the
They're secure in
conditions
that
they're
they're
going to have to
definitely in
contend
the
with.
top 3. The question is just where. That's all.
Yeah,
It's just where they'll position. That's where the math is leading us.
yeah.
All right. Oh, okay.
It looks like they're off. Looks like there's no countdown. Go! So, Audito looks like he's taken an early lead. I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. It looks like Shaknu and Liquid are back out for this for the positions here. If we can zoom into Liquid's view, that might give us an idea of what's happening here. So yeah, Audito, Jellyhead Made, Shaknu really fighting for position, with Jellyhead Made only 200 meters in front of Liquid right now. Shaknu and Audito, a couple of hundred meters between them as well. Could we jump to, oh, this is a very tight corner. Liquid is undertaking people by the looks of it. If we can jump into Shaknu's view, Shaknu is coming really tight to Audito at the moment. I think Shaknu's just overtaken Audito, just coming through onto Homeward Bound, I think we're at. And it looks like Audito's just underneath him. You can see the pinged view. Oh, it's Liquid. He's fighting with Liquid for...
Audito DNF'd. Audito DNF'd a couple of times before, as you can see there, which is crazy for the results of the thing. So Liquid now just needs to get points. If Liquid gets points, that will 100% put them ahead of Audito. And then they just have to worry about Jellyhead like coming first and Liquid not coming like second last. So this is where we're at now. This is huge.
Yeah, this is insane. And I think Jellyhead Made has now overtaken Shaknu, and Shaknu is in 3rd place by the looks of it. Could we have a quick look at Jellyhead Made's view? I want to see how close he is to Liquid. It looks like Shaknu and Liquid are fighting it out, actually. So Shaknu has overtaken Jellyhead Made. I thought Shaknu was slightly behind, but it doesn't look like it. They're really fighting to see. There's terrible visibility going on here as they come through the cranes, through the checkpoints, and around this tight corner. Yeah, Shaknu's just underneath Jellyhead Made. Jellyhead Made taking this corner a little bit tighter. And Shaknu staying ahead there, coming around. I think this is Homeward Bound for the final corner of this second lap, with Liquid coming in first for this third lap. Shaknu second, Jellyhead Made in third, coming into the third lap.
Yep, so this is big for all 3 races here. What Shaknu wants to happen is for Jellyhead to fall maybe a little bit further behind if possible, so they can pick up those extra points and push ahead. And
Jellyhead's DNF'd.
Okay, is that the opposite of a curse? Because that's exactly what Shaknu wants to happen, and that's what I was just describing. So now with Jellyhead with a DNF, all Shaknu needs to do is make sure that they finish and they get the points on the board. And that should put them into the top 3. So this is a big, big moment for Shaknu. Liquid Prime, of course, still needs to finish the whole thing to make sure that they don't get pushed off the top spot. So now it's a game about endurance now. Just trying to make sure you're not colliding.
That's easier said than done as they come around Homeward Bound. Shaknu using precision targeting mode again. It looks like he's got quite a wide FOV as well, because he's on a widescreen, I guess, a wide monitor. And yeah, just keeping the pressure on Liquid, but switching views just to make sure that he can see through the rain. I think he's using it so that the windshield doesn't get in the way. He's using it on the straights rather than the corners, relying on just completely contradicting me there, using it around the corner and going to under pressure so that he gets a better visibility of this track. A fantastic tactic, keeping the pressure on Liquid. There's quite a large spread between them as they come around brake check. And this is, I think, the trickiest part of the track for me, where they got to go through. Oh, this is not, is this brake check? I thought this was brake check. Maybe I'm a little bit lost. But yeah, just coming through the checkpoints and trying to avoid here's brake check, trying to avoid all of the cranes hanging down from the checkpoints. It's really tight as they come through those checkpoints, just rolling through. Oh, this is a fantastic race. They're on the 4th lap. They're coming around homeward bound to the final corner of their 4th lap. So coming on to lap 5 with 2 laps to go, is it? Oh.
Yes, 2 laps to go. Shaknu not taking it remotely as safe as I thought they would after the DNF of Jelly. So that's kind of crazy. But if they do push ahead, if they are able to get that first place position, they get 12 points. That puts them at 45. That potentially puts them on the exact same as Audito. So there is actually a big reason there for Shaknu to fight for first place. Now, they are a little bit further behind Liquid Prime than they'd like to be, but there's still a world in these last 2 laps that they're able to push it that little bit further.
Yeah, seeing some interesting tactics from Samtastic and Canadian Maverick as well, going into precision targeting mode and in third-person view to try and race this race in third-person view. It takes a lot of muscle memory to be able to do that. I'd like to jump back to Liquid and Shaknu if possible, because they're about to complete their final lap by the looks of it. Penultimate lap, coming on homeward bound by the looks of it, pulling up to the start-finish line. And coming into the final lap 6. So if we just stay with Shaknu for this, we'll be able to watch them for an entire lap, I think. It looks like Samtastic and Canadian Maverick are just battling out in 3rd and 4th place, and we can cut to them when we see how this battle plays out.
Yep, 100%. So still lots of distance for Shaknu to claim back here in order to get ahead of Liquid. But we've seen it happen a few times today in these last final laps. People getting a little bit cocky, getting a little bit looser than they should be in their final turns. You can already see a little bit of distance being made back up by Shaknu already as they head into this back straight. There's still some stuff that can happen here, but Liquid is not making it easy.
Yeah. From the Skyway coming down to brake check now, which again is the most tricky part of the race from my perspective, having to squeeze through every time. It's just such a clenching moment. And then coming around to homeward bound for the end of this lap. So unless there's an upset, it looks like Liquid Prime is going to take the first place on the podium for this. Shaknu probably crossing his fingers for a little bit of a mistake, but no, Liquid Prime secures the win, and Shaknu coming in 2nd. And if we can drop to Samtastic now, Samtastic in 3rd place, 4th place, but in third-person view. Yeah, battling with Canadian Maverick. Sorry, I was confusing with third-person view and 3rd place. Canadian Maverick using the ping. He's on under pressure here. Very difficult to see any of the track. It looks pitch black to me. Is this coming around Skyway? I think. Yeah, he's on Skyway.
Yeah.
Looks
so
like
we'll get these
Samtastic
races through. Canadian Maverick on their final lap. Samtastic, a couple of laps left to go, but taking it nice and smooth in order to just guarantee some points at the end of the day. But I do have to say, huge what? No!
Canadian Maverick just struggled through the literally what I was saying, just after brake check, coming through those checkpoints, just, DNF'd. Took it a little bit wide, had to fight the ship to get back on track, and then just collided with one of the checkpoints. So now Samtastic has just got to complete this. Even though Samtastic missed the checkpoint, he should be able to overtake Canadian Maverick's position and claim a 3rd place spot.
But while Samtastic is making their way through these laps, I want to say huge congratulations to Liquid Prime, not just for winning that last race, but assuming no issues, also the entirety of Gravity Rush with that win. That'll push Liquid Prime well and truly into 1st place. So congratulations to you. Well done. You have proven, especially today, why you belong to be here. And just what you can do. So an absolutely amazing effort from yourself. And Shaknu should be in third place now too. So that in equal seconds. I don't know. We'll have to see where it all ends up at the end of it. But I believe Shaknu did squeeze into the top 3 with that 2nd place finish on this final race as well. So all the way to the very last race, we had point switching, we had place switching, making it very, very exciting as we head into this final lap from Samtastic.
Absolutely, and he's just on the Skyway, really contending well, just to stay alive, just to keep flying, despite the conditions, despite the weather forcing his ship from side to side, a little bit of wind, a little bit of turbulence, coming through to that most tricky part of the track now, just after brake check, coming through these checkpoints. Looks like he's in the clear. Coming around to homeward bound now, so hopefully a nice... Oh, struggling a little bit. I was going to say, hopefully a nice finish. Looks like he's missed the checkpoint. Looks like he's rolling around a little bit. He's got to get control of the ship. Trying to find, just going under there, which is good. Correcting his mistake. And now coming up from homeward bound to the final corner of the race. Well done. It just shows great sportsmanship to make sure that all of these races hit all of these checkpoints correctly. They will go back around if they need to, even if it affects their position. They're not just going to steam all the way through. And Samtastic securing and clinching a third place finish. Really fantastic to see him do that. Oh, yeah. What a fantastic race.
We do still have this one last lap to go.
Oh my gosh!
We are in this final lap, but everything you said is still more or less true, and has been great to watch. So I think we're gonna have a really breezy last lap here as we get through. Just making sure.
I thought he was on his 6th, but he was on his 5th, and he's got to do it again.
Yeah. But yeah, what an absolute showing from all of our competitors. It's gonna be a fun one to remember in a couple of years' time.
Absolutely, yeah. And I don't know if I would have the muscle memory to fly in between third person and first person. They're having to do so much just to keep an eye on where they need to be. And oh, here we go, going a little bit low that time, but making it through nice and easy. And coming towards homeward bound, where we were just a lap ago, where I thought he was home free. And this is where I think he missed the checkpoint here last time. Has he done it again? Is he having to roll around again? It looks like it. Third person perspective, probably not as helpful as it's made out to be here. But yeah, getting back on track with just 2 checkpoints to go through. That will be the final corner and then the start-finish line. Oh, I did celebrate a little bit early, but it's good to see Samtastic. I will reiterate, great to see him finish this race.
Agreed. And there we have it. All is put in. So I'm sure you'll see us for just a little couple of seconds pretty soon, but it's been great casting for you guys. It's been great casting with you once again playing Fox. We're going to throw it back to the desk for the last look at results and look at the race itself. I'm going to get our absolute final point results. I am excited because I'm looking at some stuff right now. Let's send it back to the desk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from this clinching finals. That, man, what a day. What a day. That's all I'm going to say. Jacqueline, I'm just seeing you there like quiet, shaking your head, looking at your notes. I'm going to throw it right over to you, man. Well, finals, man. That last race was brutal. Ordito going out super quickly, man. Give us your thoughts, man. I know there's a lot of stuff in your head happening. Break it down for us.
Yeah, I mean, everything just got flipped on its head for this race. I mean, Ordito having a really early crash around midway through the first lap just immediately gave Liquid that safety net that he needed to secure the win. Liquid, and not just securing the points, but managing to keep the fight up and staying in that first place spot throughout the whole race. It was a fantastic showing from Liquid. Shaqnu, super aggressive, never made it easy, but unfortunately the conditions were just so bad for this race. Honestly, I mean, the darkness, the rain, everything put together. I mean, at this point, Shaqnu was in a perfect position. With second place was enough to get him into the top 3 to get our to become part of our top 3 winners for the Gravity Rush thing. Unfortunately, Jellyhead had a fantastic race, but did crash out. I forgot where exactly. I did not take note of the location, but yeah, unfortunately did get that crash out. So just lost out on that top 3 spot, which is very sad to see because Jelly's been performing phenomenally well. But Shaqnu, honestly, what a comeback for this. I mean, he had been struggling in the opening segments of today's races, but then this Lorville outskirt, man, he just crushed it.
Yeah, that was, man, that was, I didn't think that initially Ordito that was going to happen right off the rip, but again, the conditions that we're racing on, it's really testing the pilots to the core and kind of getting that muscle memory about, racing these tracks overall. Tint, your thoughts on this last race, number 9 in Lorville outskirts, man, because these results are wow, insane.
Yeah, I think, for me, the thing that's shining through is that, every racer has their specialties. And in a lot of ways, this race showed through the specialties of our top contenders. Ordito being a racer that, at least typically to my mind, I think of more as an arena commander racer, somebody who's used to racing in a more consistent, stable environment, struggling more, I think, with the extreme downpour. I mean, this is honestly the worst conditions I have ever seen a Star
Yep.
Citizen race happen in, bar none. There are no like things you can put next to it even to go, oh, this was almost as bad. No, this is just, with the rain being new, with it being pitch black, this is as hard as it gets. And where, like say Ordito, I think of more as an AC racer. Liquid, obviously being somebody who spent a lot of time in the PU, is spending a lot of time, I'm sure, lately in the PU, especially at Hurston, practicing for some upcoming races. Um, it's nice to see that he was able to hang on to that top spot. And, we talked about in the run up to the race, he had that choice to make of, am I going to full send it or no? And made a choice. And it was fun to watch him put the full send on in the rain, go full press, even if he didn't necessarily have to.
Yeah, these conditions aren't the best overall, but man, it's been a pleasure watching, especially like you mentioned, Liquid Prime and Shacknu just really tear up this track regardless of whatever conditions they're on, seeing their tactics about how he was zooming in and out, trying to get, the most visibility that he can. I mean, it's absolutely, I'm not going to say the difference between the racers, but man, it really does test, how good you can really concentrate and really focus on just racing your lines and trying to get through just any of it and hoping for the best. Cause I felt like every time I saw Shacknu go through, what do you call it? Like under pressure. I felt like he was going to hit an edge. He was going to hit a crane. It was very like, man, it was so nerve wracking. So, at the end of the day, we do have results. We do have to crown our top 3 for our inaugural season of Gravity Rush, and the people that are going to be sitting on top of the podium. Let's take a look at our results for one last time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. All right, for your top 3 is going to be Liquid Prime in first place with 56 points. Of course, this is all up to review. We're always review everything, so we're going to say until we announce on our Discord and on social media, we're going to say these are going to be the unofficial results. In the meantime, Ordito with 47 points and Shacknu just squeezing right in, taking that third place spot away from Jellyhead Made. All Jellyhead Made had to do was survive the first lap and maybe get top 5 or even 4th place, and he would have stayed in that top 3. But unfortunately, that DNF cost him a lot. Shackner moving up to that top 3 there. Jelly had made with 41 points. Sam Tastic finished off with 24, and Canadian Maverick with 15. Tint, right back to you, man. How are you feeling about this top 3 or the results overall?
I think it's good to see, like I say, Liquid be able to pull through and capitalize on those early points. I'm definitely curious to see if there's any alterations after the review. We had Shacknu playing fast and loose with a couple of checkpoints, so I'm very curious to see if there's any additional penalties leveled after the final check through of everything. But overall, 4 great racers running the 1 through 4 spots, and I mean the ones we probably would have expected to see there today.
Yep. Jacket, and your thoughts on those top, on those results overall?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy for Liquid. Honestly, his performance has been fantastic throughout the entire series. Definitely helped out with the ship choice. Definitely gave him the advantage going into the beginning of these finals, which gave him enough points as a cushion to go into this. And even with that DNF on the first race, I believe, for this first Lorville Rave, still had enough of a gap to be able to fight for that first place spot. It is unfortunate that it was decided by just a single DNF from Ordito in the last race instead of a head-to-head fight. But the results are what they are, and Ordito still, with all the wins that he got, still is securing that second place spot for this. So fantastic performance from everyone. But yeah, as Tim said, the top 3 racers and top 4 are probably the top 4 that we would have expected to see. And I'm afraid and excited to see what they're gonna do for the LAN event that they come up with. So.
Well, I mean, there's still, there's still going to be positions where, other people will be able to qualify to go into a future LAN event. So, if you're kind of slapping yourself in the back a little bit, about or bummed out that you didn't get to finish in the top 3, there will be more chances. So, hey, man, just stay tuned to what we're doing here at ATMO Esports. Continue practicing with the other communities. You got XGR, you got Anzia. Make sure you guys are continuing pushing to the limit, continuing getting that experience and racing with other racers. And hopefully, hopefully the game gets into a better position where we can hopefully control things like the weather, control things like turbulence across, AC and Arena Commander in the future. So, but man, those conditions are rough. But I mean, like you guys mentioned, these racers really brought it out no matter what and just fought through it. So shout out to every single racer, every single finalist for today. But without further ado, we do have an interview with Liquid Prime coming up, who is our, our winner for this inaugural season of Gravity Rush. And I'm excited to hear from him. Hopefully there's some jitters. There's some champagne popping over there, but well, maybe not. I don't know if they drink or not, but yeah. So Liquid Prime, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you guys doing?
Good. You excited?
Coming down off the excitement a little bit here. Shaking starting to go away.
Gotcha. Well, first of all, on behalf of the entire, crew, staff here at ATMO Esports, man, I want to say congratulations to you in locking in. Obviously, we have to, I'm pretty sure it's locked in, but we're going to go back and do our due diligence and look at everything. But congratulations, first of all, man. The same question that I'm going to ask, Splen and some of these other guys, but throughout this entire Gravity Rush season, how was your preparation looking like? And were there any nerves or anything that kind of like played along that journey?
As for my preparation, it was just a whole lot of practicing, training, especially with Sanguis Luna and the Rum Runners getting me to this point. Watching some of Jackaden's videos really helped me out, especially at that Miner's Laments. As for nervous, it was just a sign I needed to practice more, right? So, yeah.
Okay. I respect it. Jackaden, I mean, a fellow Sanguis Lunar. I don't know how you guys say that, but hey, go for it if you have a question specifically for Liquid Prime, since you guys probably know each other. But yeah, take it away, man.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I just gotta say, dude, congratulations, well done. I mean, watching you, practice, seeing your progress, like where you were to how you are now, it's been fantastic. I think it's from my perspective, it looked like Gravity Rush was a very healthy thing for you. I've been seeing you progress tenfold from where we were. My question to you is, like, specifically for this finals, knowing that you were going to have to swap ships when you've been using the M50 for so long, did you have any strategy for it, or did you just full send the whole thing?
So knowing that I had to swap ships was actually beneficial, because I was pretty sure the M50 was not have let me win at Lorville Outskirts. But it did kind of inform me, knowing that I had that M50, that I could take advantage of the 0G tracks, and at least there start scratching some points to help me in the finals, and then try to survive the Lorville Outskirt bombardment. But as to
Awesome.
switching ships and what I did, it was just put in the time.
Awesome. Tim,
Awesome.
you got anything for Liquid Prime?
I do, yeah. So, I mean, looking at your performances across all of the races in this series, you've obviously been doing great the entire time. but I do feel like the performance we saw from you today was absolutely the best we've seen from you yet. Is there something that you've been, doing in the last few weeks, or a change up in the practice routine that you would credit that to, or do you think just a day where it all came together?
Now, you didn't hear this from me, but the 0G tracks, being forced to do them and having to get better at them really did up my game in the rest of the atmospheric flights. But I didn't say that.
So you're saying more 0G then, right? Is that what you're saying?
I might get in trouble if that's the outcome. It's good to have to make sure to learn, especially Miner's Lament was a blast.
Okay.
Does have that
Well,
effect on you. Like, you hate it until you have to race it.
Well, awesome. I mean, Liquid Prime, I do have a couple more questions here for you, but man, like a lot of the races in the verse are always team based. How do you feel racing just solo on your own, without having to depend on a race, or maybe one day you couldn't make it, and kind of back and forth? Like, how do you feel just racing solo without a teammate? Because I know a lot of the other communities, XGR does solo racing, but a lot of the other communities, when they do these big events, it's normally a team race. So that way, you have somebody to back you up. Did you feel any different here, or it wouldn't have mattered if you had a teammate or not?
Oh, it always matters to have a teammate. I think this just made me responsible for everything that happens more than anything. And so if I wanted this, I had to put in the time, put in the practice, be responsible for my performance. But again, I didn't really do it alone because I did have a team to practice with that helped me train.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anything else, Tint or Jacqueline, that you guys want to ask Liquid Prime here?
I mean, I'll throw it out there who of all of the other racers on the table were you the most intimidated by going up against?
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's Ordito, Splen, Jelly, and Shaqnu.
That's a fair list.
I mean,
a fair list. He was looking. I think he was looking for one, but he got the whole list.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, my question was going to be similar. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Jacqueline.
My question was going to be similar but different. I was going to say, like, knowing that with the result, after the results being secured, if this is the top 3, if we're going to have going into a LAN event with more people, who are you most afraid to go up against? Obviously, aside from the 2 people that you already know.
So when it came to the performance at the Lorva outskirts, Shaqnu really stepped it up. So seeing that speed and everything there really set into perspective what the competition was. But also Ordito just brings the consistency more than I can put out at the moment. And I know that's a big one right there for me to overcome.
Gotcha.
All right.
Well, I mean, Shaqnu did, other than the penalty that Shaqnu got, Shaqnu averaged 2nd place throughout the entire, throughout all of Lorva Outskirts. And if he didn't get the penalty, he would have had 1 first place spot and then 2 first places, which kind of makes up a lot for, I think, the first 4 races where Shaqnu, had some decent issues, kind of recovered from that. But man, to come back all the way when Shaqnu was only had like 6 points when everybody else had 20. Yeah, he definitely stepped up, like you mentioned there, Liquid Prime. But anyways, to wrap this up, Liquid Prime, once again, man, congratulations. We'll be in touch, of course, to make sure that, you understand the progress after this and make sure we get a lot of these prizes your way. But one thing, anything you want to say to the community out there, to the racing community, your teammates, your org, anything, man, that you want to kind of share with the broader community that ends up watching, this VOD later on, man? Anything you want to say?
Yeah. If you like competition, the racing community is a place for you. Come bring and test your skills. Get with a team. They'll help you get to where you need to be to really perform your best. Go Sanguis.
All right, Liquid Prime. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, man. And hey, go out there and enjoy that win. And pop champagne, do what you got to do, man. All right. All right. He must have been out right there. So without further ado, let's get back Croncy and Cyberfox. Let's wrap this season of Gravity Rush up. But one thing I want to say real quick is that thank you all that are watching from home. Cheered on to your favorite racers, whether you're cheering on for your org members or you fell in love with a new racer, underdog like some of the underdogs that went into the finals. Hey, just thank you so much for being a part of this community and cheering on for these incredible racers. Honestly, it's not easy, right? And there's always people talking about wanting to race. Hey man, just don't talk about it. Jump into the community, just do it. So let's go ahead and shoot over to with Croncy and Cyberfox. And here we are. They're looking mean or tired. Which one is it, Croncy? Which
It's 8 a.m. and we had our meeting at 2:30 a.m. So I'll give you a clue as to which one do you think it might be.
Yeah, you'll be fine, man. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. But hey, thank you so much to everybody here in this panel. In this talent again, our analysts, our casters. Thank you guys so much, man. Thanks to all of our production behind the scenes, of course. The laser team for some race direction as well. It's been absolutely incredible. Our first inaugural season of Gravity Rush. It can only be bigger and better from here as people see exactly what we're going to do in the LAN, which is going to be a lot of fun. So more on that information to come later on. Right now, there are no plans. Of course, we're going to be waiting for announcements for the next CitizenCon. But we're going to go down the line, guys, okay? We're going to kick it off here to Cyberfox, man. Cyberfox, this is inaugural season. Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time and helping us, put this entire incredible broadcast together. I couldn't thank you enough, man. Any final words on this inaugural season of Gravity Rush that you want to kind of put out there for the community?
I appreciate it. Absolutely. And yeah, I've enjoyed watching the narrative unfold. As Splen said during his interview, it's not an upset not to podium. It's just great to participate. And so I'm so grateful to have seen these pilots compete. For me, it's a little bittersweet for it to be over. As I said earlier, I love nothing more than watching these famed racers on screen showing me what I feel is the best part of StarCitizen, which is the bleeding edge piloting. This event for me has been a blast. We've had ups and downs. We've had triumphs and upsets. We've had pure speed, daring maneuvers, and some heart-stopping overtakes as well from start to finish. The pilots, for me, from my perspective, have given us a show of skill, determination, and they're going to be remembered for a long time. So I think this has been a real celebration, a celebration of competition, passion, and the thrill of throttle over fear.
God damn, I love that. Yo, let's close it out. I don't think anybody has anything else to say.
Just got away with
That
words.
just went so well, man. Yeah, we're done, man. We just stole the show. But no, thank you, Cyberfox. Really appreciate it. Croncy, your thoughts, man. Give us any breakdown, about, I guess, some of your favorite moments of the season and anything you want to say to the community.
Yeah, to one up Cyberfox, race good, series fun watch. It was a great
amazing.
time.
I love it.
No, this was a really, really enjoyable series. I had a great time during it of the parts that I was able to be a part of. And by far, one of my favorite moments was just every single race of Snake Pit that we did was just moment after moment after moment of just insanely good racing, insanely entertaining racing. So many fights on that final turn that you have before the big straight there that we got to watch a bunch of times. It was really, really good that I'm going to remember for a very, very long time. So this was an awesome time. And yeah, guys, get out there, do some racing, and hopefully we'll see you next year.
Couldn't sit on any better, man. Don't be scared whether you feel like you're a newbie or not. Again, jump on that discord.gg/ATMO Esports, come into the community. There's a lot of people in there, believe it or not. You say, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? You jump in general, you jump in tournament chat. I promise you, somebody will see it and help. There's a lot of people that love to help in this community. So don't be scared to do that. And of course, you got, you got a prodigy teacher here for ship racing under the name Jacketin. So you guys can go check him out on YouTube as well. But Jacketin, your thoughts on Gravity Rush inaugural season? Tell us a little bit about it and anything you want to say to the community out there that's watching.
Oh man, this was fantastic. I loved every moment of it. I mean, thank you for having me to be as an analyst for this, along with Tint. It was fantastic to see all of these racers come in from the very start to now. The progression that you see, the racers' skill evolving from the very beginning to how it was now. You could see from moment to moment, everyone's strengths and weaknesses really coming to light. And it's just beautiful to see that even though a lot of people were in the same ships, you could tell the different flying styles and the different preferences to tracks and conditions. So it was fantastic to see everything just put together like this in this one event. Awesome stuff. Yeah, guys, like if you really want to get on this stage, get into this kind of event, do it. Join the discords, get involved with the racing team. As Liquid said, when you do this kind of thing in a team, in a community, it just makes it so much better. Like time trialing is fun and all, but as soon as you put somebody next to you and just have that kind of moment to moment racing, it's there's nothing like it in StarCitizen, hands down.
Couldn't agree, man. Like I tell people, man, one of my favorite times playing games was World of Warcraft. And the only reason why that was fun is because I was raiding 4 hours a night for 4 days a week and playing with incredible people. Same thing here in Star Citizen. You do the same, guys. You're playing an MMO, man. Find that org that you mesh with. Find that org that has the values that represent you. And I'm telling you, it's going to get a lot more fun. If you feel like the game is boring or you're waiting for NPC gameplay, you don't need that, man. Go play with people. It's going to be life-changing. It's kind of like going from mouse and keyboard to dual sticks. That's how I'm going to predict that you going from playing with yourself to playing with other people, man. It changes the entirety of the game, makes it definitely 10 times more fun. So without that being said, Tint, all right, Tint, man, it was such a pleasure having you, man. Like I said, I learned so much from the analysts here and definitely from the casters. But man, Tint, any thoughts, any words that you have about Gravity Rush, this inaugural season, or anything you want to say to the community out there?
Well, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. I would rather race on a mouse and keyboard on a 24-inch monitor plugged into a laptop than I would just do time trials by myself for the rest of the time. This community is one of the best communities in gaming, and it shows through, I think, the most in the racing scene, but all over the place. Orgs are doing fantastic stuff. So definitely get in there and mix it up with other people. This has been a really fascinating experience for me. I've never really done any on-camera kind of stuff, so getting to kind of stretch my own wings a little bit here and try out something new has been really interesting. And I mean, for me, just the highlight of it all has been seeing some of this new crop of racers really come into their own. I mean, Samtastic's journey from somebody I'd never heard of to somebody who is in our finals is just absolutely cool to see, and I want to see more of it. So absolutely everybody should get signed up, get practicing, get out on the courses, and show us what you got.
Couldn't said it any better, man. It's been an honor, guys. I love we've been doing this stuff for a long time here at ATMO Esports, and I honestly, man, I honestly learn as I go, and I've been hosting a lot of events for a while. I've missed 2 events, in the past 8 years doing this stuff. So I really love this community. I'm all about the community and wanting to enhance and kind of provide a place where people can continue pushing 1%, 2%, 3% being better. And whether it's racing, ground racing, we're always going to be here for you guys. So without a further ado, guys, it's been a pleasure hosting here the inaugural season of Gravity Rush. It's been a pleasure. Guys, continuing to follow up with all of our events. And we have Fighter Flights coming up on September 13th. We have something where we have another big event we're launching on September 1st around that time. So make sure you guys stay locked in. Make sure you guys stay informed. And without further ado, guys, have a great weekend. And we'll see you guys again soon. It's been a pleasure. See you guys next time.